Next, we have a senior speech from Xochi.
I'll never forget my second semester of freshman year in Global Foundations, a class that without a doubt changed the trajectory of my life. Claire Brown and I walk in and immediately spotted Wyatt Jones, Jacob London, Arsh Goyle, Tucker Marshall, Luke Harrington, Tor Sorensen, Jax Pena, Falak Dingra, Allison Song, Katie Sweeney, and Maya Nahar. Claire and I look at each other and whispered, "This is going to be a fun semester." But there was one problem. No one spoke. The second everyone entered the classroom, it was dead silent. Claire and I knew we needed to do something, and we knew we needed to wake up the class and unlock its full potential. And it wasn't until April that we had an idea. It was one of those 70-degree Sundays where it's just too nice to stay in the dorm, so Claire and I ended up in the mat couch room. Somehow we found ourselves at the vending machine, buying every drink in sight, soda, lemonade, and juice, and mixing them all together, pretending like we were mad scientists. The result was brown and not the most appealing, but surprisingly, it was delicious. So naturally, we carried our Brita pitcher of brown liquid back to L's third and started knocking on every door, forcing people to try our creation. We ended up talking and laughing with people we barely knew, and that's when brilliance struck. We had to bring a drink back to Global Foundations. So the next week, we went to Heinen's and bought every appealing drink we could find. We mixed our potion downtown at picnic tables and hand-decorated cups for each classmate. At 8 a.m., we walked down Brick Row, punch in hand, and marched into Dr. Chappett's classroom. As we poured drinks into the personalized cups, you could feel a shift in the room. The people were definitely confused, but they were talking. So we kept going. Every class, we brought something new. One time, we handed out dinosaur eggs buried in dirt, and the class spent 10 minutes digging for toys. Another day, we dressed up as Santa Claus, walking in, blasting Jingle Bell Rock, with a pillowcase full of hand-wrapped gifts. My personal favorite was the day we bribed everyone with candy to wear gnome hats for the full 65-minute class. Not a single session went by without a surprise. We sent out Google Forms, themed emails, and every time we had an 8:15 class, we were up at 6 a.m., hiking to Acme to buy supplies. By the end of the semester, it was clear we needed to continue making our potions, but on a bigger scale. So we started our club, Potion Pals. At Club Expo our sophomore year, we had no idea what we were doing. We walked to Acme and quickly realized we did not have the physical strength to carry 6 liters of soda a mile back to campus. We were sitting in the parking lot about to admit defeat and give up on our plan when a car randomly drove up to us. It was Mr. Buck, offering us a ride back to campus. In the car, we passionately explained our club idea, and ever since then, he's been one of our biggest supporters. That year at Club Expo, despite lots of confusion, people eagerly tried our drinks and signed up. The next year, we improved. Instead of writing names on a spreadsheet, we asked everyone to take a selfie. So that's why you see everyone up there. And by senior year, we were pros. We reserved faculty drivers a week in advance, we invested in high-quality pitchers, and we made sure to use sugar-free soda because there was always someone worried about their sugar intake. That was the year we had 130 people sign up. So to everyone who's tried one of our drinks or joined the club, you mean the world to us. And to Mr. Ong, who once downed 3 full cups of our potion in econ with a giant smile, you made our day. Then came the dreaded college application season in the fall. Since I first stepped into Times Square at 8 years old, I knew I wanted to live in New York City. NYU has always been a dream, but with grades and test scores that felt mediocre, it seemed like an unattainable one. Still, NYU asked me for one 250-word supplemental essay, so I told them the story about Potion Pals. I wrote about how every drink we make brings Claire and I this unexplainable feeling of joy, and I submitted my application and I just hoped. Meanwhile, Claire was interviewing with a Princeton rep at Open Door. He asked what she did to stand out at Reserve, and she told him about Potion Pals. He misheard her and thought we were an eating club called Portion Pals. But when she explained her mocktails, his face lit up. It's been 5 months since our applications were submitted, and Claire and I like to think that our little drink helped us open big doors in life. So to Claire Craft and Stella Taylor, please take care of Potion Pals next year. There's no one else I trust more. And with that being said, this I believe. Start that club and apply to the school that feels out of reach. Life is so much more than what people say about you. My biggest piece of advice is to tune out the voices that tell you to stay small and quiet, the ones that whisper that everyone is watching or judging you. Because when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, even just a little, the voices get quieter. When I first came to Reserve, I was terrified to raise my hand, and the thought of presenting in front of a class felt like a nightmare. I had convinced myself that I would always be too awkward to speak up or be the person I wanted to be. And don't get me wrong, I still haven't perfected it. When I found out 3 weeks ago that I'd be up on this podium more than just for my senior speech, I woke up every Monday and Friday with a pit of anxiety, scared that I'd somehow find a way to mess up morning meeting. But I just keep on reminding myself every day it gets easier. And in 5 weeks, no one's gonna care about the person I was in high school. But I know I wouldn't be standing here today without the people that supported me through it all. So to Claire Brown, you've been my right-hand man through all of this. You're effortlessly good at everything, and somehow the most humble person I've ever met. I'm so glad we went on that rocket car freshman year. Thank you for being my friend. To Miranda Wang, my partner in every spontaneous adventure, visiting you in Japan, getting ramen in the middle of the night, and all the incredible people we met, I'll never forget it. Thank you for being my friend and for never having a dull moment. To Mia Cruz, ever since my flight got stuck in Chicago and you let me stay at your house freshman year, you have been a constant in my life. You taught me how to stand up for myself and how to be confident, something I didn't even realize I needed until I met you. Thank you for being my friend. To Eiley Moore, maybe it's because our birthdays are a day apart, or maybe it's because we've been in the same advisory for 4 years, but I can't imagine Reserve without you. Every walk back to our dorms where we're laughing so hard we can't breathe, I'll carry those with me forever. Thank you for being my friend. To Sophia Yellow-Robe Yates, my super gremlin, I tell you everything and I've never once felt judged. You have one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen, and I hope your sparkle never dulls. Thank you for being my friend. To Addie Levan, my first real friend at Reserve, you made me love a sport, something I never thought was possible. From every cross-country race where you'd finish way before me, but you'd stay and cheer at the finish line, your support in every way has always meant the world. Thank you for being my friend. I've lived with these girls for 4 years, and usually they're the first people I see before I go to bed every night and the first thing in the morning, and I'm still not sick of them, so I'd gladly call them my family. Reserve wouldn't be the same without any of you. And oh, to Ms. Hutchins, how lucky am I to have an advisor, a college counselor, and a life coach wrapped in one. Thank you for being my biggest advocate, for getting me Bibby Bop, letting Eiley and I bake cookies in your kitchen, for the new books, and believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. As I stand here today, I'm not the same Xochi who first arrived at Reserve, but it wasn't just my hair that grew, my confidence did too. I've learned that growth begins where comfort ends. In the awkward silences, the spontaneous decisions, the moments where you show up despite fear, that's when life starts to open up. So please, if you're gonna take away one thing, remember this. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to be willing to try to be passionate about something, even if that passion is making mocktails, to start that club or even just join it, to send that application, and to be bold enough to believe you belong in that room, even if your inner voice says otherwise. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who remind you who you are when you forget. I've been lucky to find those people here, and their love has shaped me in ways I'll never fully be able to explain. So take up space, speak up, and dream big. And above all, don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you to shrink. Thank you.